Hey guys, HDvee here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some pretty cool things to go over. Some more Pokemon Generation 10 Wind and Wave rumors have popped up. We have some updates regarding the Nintendo Switch 2, and as well as that, some things you may have missed from the recent Legends EA trailers. A lot of things to break down today, so if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, let's take a look at some things that you may have missed from the most recent Pokemon Legends EA trailers. So the first post comes to us from Soul Silver Art saying, I never expected Mega Ampharos to basically be the protagonist of our Pokemon Legends EA trailers, but I'm so here for it. And then also, look how it goes to stand by the player character and stays Mega Evolved after the battle. Maybe it stays until the meter runs out or it is called back. So this was quite a big kind of revelation from the recent Legends EA trailer in the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. So as you can see, Ampharos absolutely bodying Altaria. I don't know why Altaria is getting destroyed in every single trailer, but it is what it is. But anyway, as you can see, defeats Altaria and then just runs back to the trainer. Does not go back to regular Ampharos. So maybe the timer doesn't go down outside of battle and you just stay as a Mega Evolved Pokemon outside of battle, or maybe the timer just goes down normally and then it just kind of goes back to regular Ampharos once that timer runs out. I really hope that you can just have Mega Evolved Pokemon outside of battle. It looks to me that's the way they're gonna go, because there's no like timer or anything in like the bottom right. I guess there's no timer in the battle when they're obviously attacking this Altaria, but I think if there was some sort of timer that was ticking down until you went back to Ampharos, it would be somewhere in the corner or something. So I'm really hopeful that we get Mega Evolved Pokemon outside of battle, and that means we might also get wild Mega Evolved Pokemon outside of battle as well. But anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Would you like to see Mega Evolved Pokemon outside of battle, or do you think it's just going to be, you know, when the timer goes down or whatever? And then we also have this to quickly go over as well. Some people may have missed this. This was posted a while ago, but I'm only just getting around to getting to it. But Lysander's Cafe is in Pokemon Legends EA. So this was posted by both Confection, and I think it's been in a couple of trailers, and I think Pokemon have even tweeted out about it, not saying that it's Lysander's Cafe, but they've been using this sort of gif where the kind of female protagonist is running with Chikorita, but in the background you can see that it is actually Lysander's Cafe. So I don't think it's going to be an evil base of operations or anything like that in this game. I just think it's quite cool that they still have this cafe here, and it is still, I guess, Lysander's Cafe. Whether it's just been like remodeled or something inside or whatever, it is still going to be interesting to see how this is utilized in Pokemon Legends EA. Coming up next, we have a new update regarding Nintendo Switch 2 achievements. We actually covered something regarding this a few days ago, because on the app for Legend of Zelda, it did say that there were going to be achievements, but the actual Nintendo Switch 2 console now confirmed not to have achievements. So this was posted by VGC saying Switch 2 will not have achievements. Nintendo has confirmed. So this isn't a rumor or anything like that. Nintendo has straight up said no achievements for the Nintendo Switch 2, which I don't understand why. I feel like it's not that difficult to implement, and it just gives more kind of completion goals for players. You know, I would love to be able to get all the achievements on a Pokemon game instead of just beating the story, shiny hunt for a bit, and then kind of like be done with it. But anyway, so Switch 2 won't have achievements, Nintendo confirms. While Zelda will have in-app achievements, no system-wide feature is planned. So Nintendo Switch 2 will not have system-wide achievements, Nintendo has confirmed. So Nintendo fully revealed the Nintendo Switch 2 last week, including information about the system's UI, the new game chat feature, and more. However, one feature that fans were hoping for more information on was the potential inclusion of an achievement system. So when asked by Polygon if the new system will break from Nintendo tradition, introduce a system-wide rewards for playing games, Nintendo's Vice President of Player and Product Experience, Bill Trinan, said nope. While the system won't have console-wide achievements, 2 Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games will have their own achievement lists, though they will be relegated to a mobile app. So The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will both get Switch 2 editions, as well as a new app called Zelda Notes, which will be part of the Nintendo app. And then it says, as part of the Zelda Notes app, Nintendo has added achievement lists for both games. The achievements will track things like weapons collected, the number of shrines completed, and other in-game metrics. Another achievement system, medals, will be awarded for reaching certain in-game milestones. Players can track their achievements against their friends and other players in the Nintendo app. So Yeah, this is I don't know, it's quite unfortunate. I was really hoping that we'd finally get Nintendo kind of achievements or gamer score or trophies or whatever. But yeah, it looks like that's still not going to be a thing. The closest you're going to get to Nintendo achievements are on the Zelda Notes app for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Coming up next, let's take a look at the GameCube portion of the Nintendo Switch 2 launch day. VGC have tweeted out saying Nintendo have confirmed which GameCube games will be coming to Nintendo Switch 2 on launch day. So again, June the 5th, coming out is very, very fast. And the launch day games are going to be what make people get it or not. We know that Mario Kart World Tour is going to be a release day game, but apart from that, we're not sure if there's going to be like a lot of other stuff, but we do now have updates regarding the GameCube kind of portion of it. So it says Nintendo confirms the Switch 2 GameCube games for launch with Pokémon coming at a later date. So games from Nintendo's classic console are coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. So Nintendo has confirmed which GameCube games will be coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 on launch day. So featuring clearer image quality and higher resolution, customizable controls, and online multiplayer support, GameCube titles will be available on launch day for Switch 2. I do like the fact that they are actually giving small upgrades to it. Like, I obviously can't wait to play Wind Waker, but having clearer image quality and high resolution, it's just going to make the game look a little bit nicer. But anyway, at launch, the Nintendo GameCube Nintendo Classics library for Nintendo Switch 2 will include 3 games. So on launch day, you're going to be able to play Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, and also F-Zero GX. They will be available on day 1, with other titles coming a bit later, according to the Nintendo Treehouse livestream. Super Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, Pokemon XD Gales of Darkness, Super Mario Strikers, Chibi Robo, Luigi's Mansion, and Pokemon Colosseum were all shown as part of the initial reveal trailer, but no information on how frequently games will be added to the service has been revealed. Says Nintendo has announced that the Nintendo Switch 2 GameCube controller will only be offered to those who pre-order the console via the My Nintendo store. So the Nintendo GameCube controller, GCN controller, Nintendo Classics will be exclusively available for Nintendo Switch Online members and will initially only be offered to those invited to pre-order a Nintendo Switch 2 console, reads a message on the My Nintendo UK store. Switch 2 will be released worldwide on Thursday, June the 5th. Nintendo has released information on the size of the first wave of Switch 2 games, and Nintendo has also confirmed that the Nintendo Switch 2 will support Nvidia's DLSS upscaling technology, and also VGC played Nintendo Switch 2 following the Nintendo Direct, and you can read our full impressions via that link. I think it's also been confirmed that the GameCube is just for the Nintendo Switch 2 as well. You would not be able to play these GameCube games on the Nintendo Switch 1, so I guess that's more of an exclusivity feature for obviously the upcoming console, but those are the games that you're going to be able to play on launch day. I'm fine with it. Zelda The Wind Waker is one of the main ones that I wanted, as well as obviously Colosseum, Gale of Darkness, and Strikers, but apart from that, yeah, hopefully we don't have to wait too long for the rest of them to come out. Coming up next, I wanted to go over this article from Nintendo Everything talking about Pokemon and Nintendo, kind of the relationship that they have. So former Nintendo of America staff discuss adversarial relationship with the Pokemon Company US, certain rules such as using the term partner Pokemon and never starters, and more. So this is kind of why they now call the Pokemon first partner Pokemon instead of starters, which it's just silly, but this is the reason why. So, former Nintendo of America staff have shared some interesting behind-the-scenes information about what it was like working in collaboration with the Pokemon Company, with the relationship described as being adversarial. So, Kit Ellis and Crystal Yang shared the details during a recent episode of their podcast. Yang brought up how there was a tug-of-war for control. Ellis also brought up about how the Pokemon Company hammered in on pronunciations and was particular about even the finest details of its creatures. Below is what was shared during the podcast about the relationship between Nintendo of America and the Pokemon Company in the US. So Kit said, we really can't undersell the kind of, at times, adversarial relationship that there was. It kind of depended on what branch you were dealing with, because we would interact with Game Freak developers when they would come over, and they were great and wonderful and very sweet and nice. Even the Pokemon Company in Japan, when you would get a glimpse of them, they seemed okay, but it was really the US teams that were really like a lot of butting heads moment. And Krista said some of the people that were on the US Pokemon team used to work at Nintendo, and there were several of them that had to leave their jobs at Nintendo because they moved the sales and marketing office to Redwood City. There was a little bit of salt, a little bit I think at sometimes. There's a layer of adversarial energy, but also this layer of competition, which was very prevalent throughout the North America regions. There was definitely that energy a little bit between the US Pokemon Company and Nintendo of America as well. I think I said North America, Nintendo of America regions. It's kind of tug of war for control. Like if you're talking about video games, you got to involve us. We need to be able to make sure that this shows properly on our systems. We need to make sure that we have involvement. And they're like, well, we're not talking about video games. We're talking about the brand, so you can't be involved. So go away, stop talking to us. It was like that relationship around it that made it a little tense. This was also something that changed around the time, but letter of the law versus the spirit of the law. Like we're cracking down on your pronunciations, and we would have Reggie, former Nintendo of America president, do a video, and they're like, Reggie needs to re-record this. We're not going to re-record. It's close. It's Reggie. We can't get on his schedule. You're just going to have to deal with it. We're going to hold a grudge about this. And they were melting down my beautiful ice sculptures like, oh, Oshawott toenail isn't quite to proportion. Melt him all down. There was a lot of stuff like that. So it seems like they're very kind of, I don't know, touchy and kind of like a little bit overboard with certain things. And then something else brought up is a video game that the Nintendo America team Kit and Krista were on needed to watch, which had a person listing 300 Pokemon pronouncing their names. Also, there were certain requirements the Pokemon Company had, such as referring to the initial Pokemon players can pick from as partner Pokemon, which had to be in a certain order. And there was a strict rule against referring to them as starters. These Pokemon also had to be included as a group of 3, not just 1. In other news, we heard this week when the series was being localized for the first time. So yeah, that's why. So basically, Game Freak not happy and very, very, I guess, I don't even know how to explain it. They get really angry when you say starter Pokemon and not first partner Pokemon. It's just stuff like that, like pronunciations. It's just very petty. I don't know why they're like that, but hey, it is what it is. Finishing things off for today's video, we have a new Generation 10 rumor to go over. Another one detailing the games called Pokemon Wind and Wave. So what we think the names are going to be, they're very good Pokemon Generation 10 names, but this was posted on 4chan a few days ago on the 7th of April, titled Generation 10 Leak. Again, was on 4chan, so as always, take it with a massive grain of salt. But they say Pokemon Wind and Wave. So legendaries are humanoid statues. So we have a rock electric form plus flying electric form and a rock ground form and a water ground form. So it looks like there's going to be a quartet of legendaries once again, just like we had in Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. There's going to be a Greek plus West Turkey region with many islands and mountains. The starters are a grass flying elephant, a fire ibex, and a water snake as well. Fusion is going to be in the game, fusing 3 Houndoom. I don't know. I don't like the idea of having to fuse 3 Pokemon. I still think the gimmick is going to be fusion. I say that every time we cover these Generation 10 rumors, but fusing 3 Houndoom for a Cerberus just doesn't seem very likely. I think it's just one Pokemon fusing with another, and then it's sorted. Fusing Tauros and Machoke equals a normal fighting Minotaur. Like, stuff like that would be really cool. Like getting a Minotaur form of Tauros and Machoke. Not having to fuse 3 of the same Pokemon. Diving returns. I don't know if this was posted after the Luminion leak for Generation 10. I can't remember if that was posted on the 7th or not. But if not, then, you know, they've probably got that right, which is quite a big sort of, I guess, not like giving it loads of credibility. They could have easily guessed it, but it is something like, oh, they got that right. Underwater City plus a Sky City, which makes sense as to why it's called Wind and Wave. Completely open world, only on the Nintendo Switch 2, which we also know about. Olympics, the new minigame with stat buffs and many more with an online experience. That'd be really cool, like loads of online Pokemon minigames, a little bit like we had in Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, but having those online and like brand new minigames in Generation 10 would be absolutely incredible. I'd love to see that. Normal donkey Pokemon that has 2 evolutions. There's going to be a winged horse and a fishy horse. There's going to be rideable in the sky and sea respectively. There's going to be a ghost flying carpet, a flying evolution, a water grass type sponge, a dragon bug pseudo legendary with a gold color. And it also says story has ancient Greek drama plus comedy elements. A lot of these rumors we've been covering lately have been talking about these kind of comedy elements, and I don't think we need that in a Pokemon game. Like, a joke every now and again is alright, but I don't think the whole kind of, I don't know, the whole story being drama and comedy just doesn't really sit well. No new Mega Evolutions. Again, Mega Evolution gimmick probably not going to be in this game, and I definitely don't think we'd get any new ones. No serious competitive like in previous games. Also kind of makes sense. Pokemon Champions is very likely going to be the kind of competitive hub for Pokemon going forward, which is why they're making it. Just allows them to kind of lay out competitive as much during kind of new Pokemon games and stuff. Voice acting do not get hype though, so I assume that means that it's just certain scenes that are going to have voice acting, which is fine. Like, it's a step in the right direction. Not everybody has to have voice acting in this game, but it would be cool to see in like the cinematic sort of trailer, not trailers, but like the cinematic scenes if they had voice acting in that. And then it says 30th anniversary, which again also very much makes sense because it's the 30th anniversary next year for Pokemon. So yeah, all in all, nothing crazy that jumps out at me. I like the fact of having a kind of quartet of legendaries again. Greek plus West Turkey region sounds good. The starters sound good. The fusion, again, I don't think 3 Houndoom would be something that they would kind of invest in. I don't like that, but I do like the idea of a Tauros and Machoke making a completely kind of Minotaur, like normal Pokemon. Poke-Olympic minigame sounds really good. Obviously, Flying Evolution, I'm always down for a new evolution. Don't like the kind of drama, comedy elements of the story, but it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts on this rumor, though. Do you think it is true or not? And also, what do you think the Generation 10 games are going to be called? Let me know your thoughts on all the kind of Nintendo stuff we covered today. And then also, what are your thoughts on the Legends EA stuff as well? Do you think that we are going to have Mega Evolution outside of battle? And also, do you think Lysander's Cafe is going to be playing a part in this game like it did in the original X and Y games? But thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, drop a like down below. Let's try to hit 500 likes. It really helps out. Leave a comment, like I said, with your thoughts on anything. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell for daily Pokemon content. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.